Did anybody order a taxi? Max Eberl's just ordered a taxi. A taxi for Kingsley Coman. He's on his way out. That's according to, here we go, Fabrizio Romano. That's right. That's the focus of today's episode. Not Fabrizio Romano, but the fact that Al Nassr have come in with a 35 million euro bid. It's been accepted by the board of FC Bayern Munich, which means the Frenchman, the left winger, injury prone, but did score that Champions League winning goal, didn't he, against PSG? Where, of course, he once came from. Anyway, Kingsley Coman is going to get in a taxi. Well, it'd be a fucking expensive taxi. Went all the way to Saudi Arabia. Anyways, taxi for Coman. He's off to Al Nassr. He's off to join up with Ronaldo for that ambitious project. Because, of course, Al Nassr have just signed Inigo Martinez and João Félix, spending that neon city cash, aren't they? Anyway, yes. Let's get into the video, right? Fabrizio Romano is always behind transfer news anyway, those three immortal words. Here we go. And as you can see, yeah, he broke the news earlier today, which is August the 11th. Breaking, Kingsley Coman to Al Nassr. Here we go. Deal agreed with Bayern for package slightly under 30 million euro. That's the fee that FC Bayern will inherit for this transfer. Coman will sign a 3-year deal at Al Nassr as part of an ambitious project after Inigo Martinez and João Félix. Medical and signature, Serge Gnabry style, to occur this very week. And this is echoed actually by Florian Plettenberg. We trust Florian Plettenberg because, of course, he's a Sky.de, he's a Sky Germany reporter / moderator. He keeps in touch with all the transfer news. He follows FC Bayern Munich. His tweet, or his ex post, sorry, was a full agreement in principle between FC Bayern and Al Nassr has now been reached. Transfer fee 35 million all in. 35 million euro all in. Contract until 2008. That's still a 3-year deal. A salary of up to 20 to 25 million euro net per year. Medical to take place soon. Coman wanted to leave Bayern Munich and was aiming for a move to Saudi Arabia. Al Nassr had been pursuing him for months, and it's exclusive news that happened in early March that's set to be official soon. Of course, this is interesting because this is not brand new, is it? Not brand new information. This is a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Well, here he was going back in, August last year, August 30th in 2024. Kingsley Coman has rejected all proposals and approaches from Europe and Al Hilal. The Frenchman is now set to stay at Bayern Munich. Now, of course, a lot of UFC Bayern Munich fans, I'm reaching out there, reaching out, touching you, touching me, but not like that. To Dishy Danny of Always Bayern Chelsea, to Liam from the Bayern View, and hundreds more of you out there, content creators and fans alike. You'll know that he didn't want to go, did he? It was documented that Kingsley Coman was happy. In fact, there was even talk, maybe it was speculation, I don't know. We're sort of in the media, aren't we? So we lead with our nose. There was speculation that he was going to stay and he was going to take a pay cut to sort of make that happen. But where have we heard that before? We heard that with Leroy Sané, didn't we? In his protracted negotiations with the old Bond villain, the old Pini Zahini, looking after his best interests. Anyway, as it happens, if you want to believe what you read, Kingsley Coman is an FC Bayern Munich player no more. There's a medical and the actual signing of the transfers allegedly happening this week. Let's have a look at the background then of Kingsley Coman. Coman? I tell you what, if there's a better way to pronounce it, you know where you can stick it. I don't mean you know where you can stick it. I mean, you know that comment section down below? You could stick it there, couldn't you? You could write it out phonetically and let me know how I'm supposed to pronounce it. Anyway, Kingsley Coman, his background, he's 29 years of age. He's 1m81. He's French. He's played 58 times for Always Les Bleus, scoring 8 goals. Let's just have a look at that background because I'm interested. As you can see, he's gone throughout all the age groups for Always Bleus, under 16, 17, 18, 19s, 21s, and in Didier Deschamps himself, a World Cup winner and a European Championship winner as a player. for Alice Blurs. What was that? 1998 and 1998 and the year 2000. Let's all meet up with Jarvis Cocker and the rest of Pulp in the year 2000. Yeah, that's incredible, that. Anyway, yeah, Didier Deschamps gave Kingsley Coman his break back in 2015, in which he's now gone on to play 58 times and scored 8 goals. But interestingly, I think it's Michael Elise that's really keeping Kingsley Coman out of this team. Although what is fascinating is that when he has played, or Kingsley, it's predominantly on the right-hand side, which is fascinating in itself. Although he hasn't played since November last year. So in the UEFA Nations League group game against Israel, Kingsley Coman came on for a 20-minute cameo in a 0-0 draw. That's the last time he played. He wasn't featured in the UEFA Nations League finals. And I'll tell you why that's interesting. It's interesting because we were there. I'll put some photos up on the screen just to showcase, showboat, all aboard. Our ground hopping trip around Germany, we went to the Allianz to watch Deutschland play Portugal, and then the day after we went to see that fucking epic Spain 5, France 4 game. But he wasn't in that squad, as you can see, look. Wasn't in that squad for the semi-final or the third place playoff. So look at the transfer history, because of course, again, he's a product of PSG, of Paris Saint-Germain in France. Again, he plugged away at the youth teams. He played for Paris Saint-Germain at under 17s, under 19s, got his break in the first team. That was for about a season, and then his contract must have ended, and he's gone on a Johnny Bosman. He's gone on a free transfer to Juventus. That was in 2014. Bayern Munich liked the look of him. They picked him up on a loan deal, and then eventually he was bought by Juventus in 2017 for a fee of €21 million. That's right. So again, there's a interesting pass that, Kingsley Coman, PSG academy product, played for a short time at Juventus and then was signed obviously by FC Bayern Munich in 2017 on a permanent basis. And as we can see, this is the real stats I wanted to present to you. So he's played 339 times for Bayern Munich. He's scored 72 goals and he's provided 71 assists. He hasn't played a lot though, has he, in the last few years, because he's been injury riven. And there's an interesting X post that I'll come on to later on with that in mind. I mean, last season, though, did play 28 times, scored 5, came up with 4 assists. Again, this is just exclusively in the Bundesliga. Although you can see the season before, that was the season that Leverkusen became the title winning Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso. And he played 17 times, a 6 goal, or 6 GA, as here we go, Fabrizio Romano calls it. Yeah, only a 6 GA return that season. He did play more frequently the year before, 22-23. It's early on, though, I suppose, when he goes to Bayern Munich. I mean, you could argue that when he was on loan, he's got to break himself into the team. And then when he does, he's not quite completing. He's not even done, he's not even completed 30 games out of, a 34-game season. The most he's ever done was that's quite a spectacular season in its own right. Under Hansi Flick, of course, FC Bayern Munich won the septuple. I'm going to break that cliche, Bo, with all these accolades, yeah. And of course, it was Kingsley Coman's winning goal, that header, in the final, that COVID final. Where was that taking place? Was that the Parc des Princes or was that in Portugal? Might well have been in Portugal, actually. If you do know and you want to correct me, again, that comment section, you know what you can do with it. You know what you can do with it. You can correct me. I'm pretty sure that COVID final, Champions League final, where he scored that winning header when they won 1-0 against PSG. I'm sure that was in Portugal. Anyway, and I guess actually that's kind of an interesting point. Is that the legacy? He scored a winning goal, a very crucial winning goal that went on to win a Champions League in 2021. Is that his legacy? Question mark. I guess that's something else for you diehard FC Bayern Munich fans, for Danny, for Liam from the Bayern View, Danny from Always Bayern Chelsea, in fact anybody, right? Doesn't matter if you're an FC Bayern fan. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think that indeed is Kingsley Coman's legacy. But again, it's the injury ravaged impact that's had on his career. Could he have, well, he would definitely have played more games. Could he have scored more goals and then provided more assists? Arguably. I mean, let's just look at last season, yeah? Let's have a look on whoscored.com. As you can see, predominantly playing down the left. 28 times. I mean, we knew that anyway, right? Because that we got that from Transfer Market. But, 14 regular first team starts and then 14 substitute appearances. 5 goals, 4 assists. It's not brilliant numbers, is it, really? For a guy that was earning, what? 200 plus... 200,000 plus per week. Yeah. I mean, Champions League, they came up with 1 goal, no assists. That was out of 11 games. Again, 5 first team starts and then 6 appearances off the bench. Yeah, not a great return. And of course, he did play in the Club World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. And we were there. We saw every single group game, from Cincinnati through to the hostile environment of, might as well have been Buenos Aires, but it was actually Miami. And then we finished off in Charlotte under that absolutely baking, it was disgusting levels of heat. Yeah, I've never known anything like it. So we were there for all those group games. And again, I'll put a thumbnail up on screen, just plug in the fact that we've got a video. We've got a ground hopping video from all those different locations where we went to see all of FC Bayern Munich's group games in the FIFA Club World Cup. And of course, we've recently done a collab. We've done a couple of collabs, actually. We did one with one with Werder Brian, who's a diehard Werder Bremen fan, and then we did a collab more recently with a special friend of the show, Dishy Danny, because unfortunately Big Jim up the Chelsea was out golfing he's an accountant, what more can we say? He's got a busy lifestyle. He's got the shoulder pads to go with it. Yeah, we did a collab with Dishy Danny where we talked about our collective experiences of the FIFA Club World Cup, and of course we met Dishy Danny and Big Jim in person in Cincinnati. So again, go and check that one out. You can find that on YouTube, in our back catalogue, in the VOD, in the vlog, in the begins with a V, in the vault. Get yourself in the vault. Anyway, of course, he played 4 times in the FIFA Club World Cup. 2 goals, 2 assists. But it should be pointed out that both those goals were in a 10-0 drubbing of the plucky semi-professionals that came all the fucking way from New Zealand. Shout out to you as well, Blair, one of the EVPs, one of the directors of Auckland City FC that we met after the game. It was fantastic. Yeah, and again, we do call that out in that travel vlog, that ground hopping vlog, so go and check it out. Anyway, the point is, Kingsley Coman scored 2 goals during the FIFA Club World Cup, but they were both in the same game against Auckland City, which sort of just takes the gloss off it a little bit. Or does it? It feels to me like it does. And we might well evolve this into a regular feature on the show. What does Danny think? So again, we're turning to our special friends, Dishy Danny and Big Jim of Always Bayern Chelsea. I'm always interested to know what Danny thinks about FC Bayern, about their squad, individual players. So what does Dishy Danny think of Kingsley Coman? Buckle up, people. Buckle up.
As an attacker, Coman just is not good enough for this Bayern team right now. It's sad because he's been an important part of the club's history, but some of the balls that he skied in this match were laughable. He ended up having one that was really close that I think was the one that you saw and you texted me about, and that was actually a decent shot. But prior to that one, 8th minute, maybe 6th minute, maybe 10th minute-ish, he skied multiple balls so far over the net. When you have a Harry Kane streaking into the box, it's just unacceptable.
Interesting thoughts there from Danny. The takeaway is those nets are not high enough, are they, for Kingsley Coman? Certainly not. What was that back in Q1? So sort of February, March time. Yeah, you couldn't find a stadium with a net high enough to protect the fans from these wayward shots. Again, this could well become a regular feature on the show. What does Danny think? Anyway, there you go. We got some thoughts from the horse's mouth. Or that's he's far too attractive to be a horse. However, he does have a gorgeous mane, as you'll see from a couple of the just from watching the guy. But go and check out his social media post and check out the thumbnail for the collab we did. Although in one of them, and it depends on which of the thumbnails the algorithm's going to save you up. Anyway, I stuck a Bavarian hat on one of them, but on the other ones, chef's kiss, the main man, Dishy Danny. There's his thoughts on Kingsley Coman. Mind the windows, Tino. And as ever, we tend to X to get the opinions of the masses. I don't know who these people are. Some people we follow, some people, their comments just jump out like a frog escaping that boiling pan of water. This is the Ballers United or the Ballers 05. Again, the context of this is all about Kingsley Coman being transferred out of FC Bayern Munich for 30 million or 35, I guess, is the package. 35 million all in. Why is everyone mad? He's injury prone, fallen, I assume that's supposed to say fallen off player with huge wage. Al Nassr even paying us 30 million is a big achievement. So, yeah, on reflection, there's some interesting points that's been pointed out here that, yes, Kingsley Coman has been injury prone. He's never completed a full season, has he really? He's never played the baseline 30 games. I'd be interested to go back through those stats just to see how many of the games he's actually started. I mean, we saw, didn't we, by looking at whoscored.com that last season he only started 14 of his 28 games in the Bundesliga, because 14 of those, of the other half of the 28, were substitute appearances off the bench. So, yeah, injury prone for sure. I suppose in a way, Max Eberl, right, who's been charged with sort of shaving off the salary, to kind of keep that budget under control. In a way, he's actually fulfilled that criteria, right? There should be a tick in the box. And we know, don't we? We know firsthand that Max Eberl is under huge amounts of pressure from the supervisory board, from is it Jan Christian Driesen, from Uli Hoeneß. Just slight side note, he was in hospital the other day. I did read that Uli Hoeneß had did he have was it a burst blood vessel? I mean, he's not a young man, is he? He must be, what, 70s? Pushing 80. Anyway, we hope the recovery, genuinely hope the recovery is a speedy one, and that you can get back in that boardroom to shout at Max Eberl sometime in the hopeful near future, I suppose I'm trying to say. But yeah, you could argue that Max Eberl's actually done something right by shipping a guy off. 30 million's a big achievement. That's according to the Ballers 05. There's another comment here. This leapt out at me again. Do these dinosaurs know you can look for a replacement while negotiating? We're so embarrassing. So that's taking a slap to the face for Max Eberl, right? Because on the one hand, he's been praised by one voice for, shaving money off that eye-watering weekly salary bill, but on the next, it's like, well, yeah, but you can look to replace him at the same time. Just an interesting thought, really. This is great. Check out that name as well. I had to triple look at that one. Like Manuel Neuer. Very clever. Very clever. What the fuck? How can you let a key player go without signing a replacement first? Lots of question marks. And that too for at least 20 million less. Enough is enough. Get that incompetent fucker out of my club. What a fucking idiot. Hashtag Eberl out. So again, the pendulum swings one way and then it swings back the other. Poor Max Eberl can't seem to catch a break. This is Ving 1999. Let's party like it's 1999. Good year, but it wasn't, was it? Not in that Champions League final, as Manchester United fans won't be shy, won't be backwards in coming forward to tell you about that one. Oliver Kahn didn't have the best experience, and neither did Sami Kufa. There's a blast from the past. Yeah, old Sami Kufa hitting those rocks, wasn't he, at full time after they'd had their pants pulled down. Those rather high-waisted, tight nylon shorts were pulled down, weren't they, with those two late goals at the Camp Nou, I believe it was. Anyway, this replacement is going to be Nkunku. Of course, that's Christopher Nkunku from up the Chelsea, Big Jim's Chelsea, and we will fund Chelsea for Xavi Simons. That's an interesting way of looking at it. And then, of course, somebody else has responded below. The Bayern Society, they're getting him anyways. Don't get the obsession with talking about funding players. I get the feeling that I'm sounding a bit like Dave Gorman, when he pulls out interesting quotes from the internet. And then just to finish off here, because we do follow this guy, we do follow them, sorry, because you've got to get your pronouns right in the modern day. Don't put me on one of these blog posts, on a social media post. Don't cancel me. We've already been going since February. Coman didn't have a spectacular time at Bayern in terms of individual quality, but also didn't have a bad time. Balanced in the assessment there. He had a decent time. Injuries didn't help him as well, as we've already covered, but his Champions League winning goal is the highlight and enough to cement him as an FC Bayern legend. Thank you, Coman. That's at Bayern Talks. What do you think about that, people? And actually, what are your thoughts overall? I guess I'm looking at Danny, I'm looking at Liam, I'm looking at all of you, actually. Again, not exclusive. You don't exclusively have to be an FC Bayern Munich fan, but of course I will call upon your opinions first and foremost. What do you think about another winger? Or just put it this way. That's one less fat salary that's got to be paid out every single month. However, he's not been replaced, has he? Yes, you have brought in Luis Diaz, and again, go and have a look at our YouTube, go and look at the back catalogue, go and open the vault. We give you permission, because again, we got no secrets to hide here. Go and have a look at that video that we've just done about Luis Diaz being signed by FC Bayern. Again, there's a few sound bites in there from Danny. What would Danny think? That's going to be a new feature. Yeah, you brought Luis Diaz in, but now you've let go of Kingsley Coman. He's 29, so he's slightly over the hill, but his games messiah will always shoot me down with his rifle perched on the hills. Doesn't matter how old you are, if you can put the ball in the back of the net, or if you can put the ball in a spot where someone like a Harry Kane can then put it in the back of the net, then it doesn't matter how old you are. If you do your job, you'll earn your money, I suppose. 29 though, wasn't he? Very expensive, injury prone. Personally, Gonzo thinks it's a good move. Get him off the books. Send him out there to Saudi Arabia. Let it be someone else's problem. What do you lot think? I'd be really interested in your thoughts. Stick them in that comment section down below. I mean, on his day, and this is it's another football cliche, isn't it? Or just a colloquialism in life. Every dog's got his day. On his day, unbeatable, right? When he's fit and he's lean and the stakes are high, big game player, Kingsley Coman. Check out some of the videos on YouTube and Instagram or Ask Jeeves. Just look at it and look at some of the comments. There's people drooling, swooning over the way that he just turns, Kingsley Coman that is, that he turns defenders inside out, you know, puts in a ball for a striker, or even got quite a lethal shot of him, of his own, right? I mean, you've seen the record, we pointed it out. 339 games, 72 goals, 71 assists. Last few seasons, injuries have cost him even more greatness. But let's not forget, by the way, I just thought I'd point this one out. Look how many trophies he's won. He's won 9 Meisterschallers at Bayern Munich, FC Bayern Munich alone. 9 German championships, 1 Champions League, which again, arguably that's feeling like it's his legacy because it was his winning goal. And then when he was in Italy, Juventus, look at that. Italian champions twice, French champions at PSG, and a Super Cup winner. I'm assuming that was with FC Bayern during that staggering septuple win under Hansi Flick. We're going to end the video there. Again, let me know your comments down below. And also, have a think about, in fact, fuck it, don't think about it, just get it done. Please, use these 2 fingers, double pivot, you know how the script goes. 1 to smash the like, the second one to hit the subscribe button, and spread the word. When you're out and about and in with a shout, let your family know, let your work colleagues know, let your student buddies know. Yeah, just spread the word, please. We're getting closer to 150 subs. We'd love to be there before the start of the Bundesliga season. Anyway, Kingsley Coman, taxi! I'll be the same. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao for now.